Hi there, this is Aravind here, packed up with a new tutorial. In this tutorial, I would like to demonstrate how you can work with local storage. For learning that, we will be working together to make this login and registration page, which will be having a validation and where you can register as well as login. So without delay, let's get started. First of all, let me show you the file structure. We will be having an index.html, script.js, style.css and two images. First of all, an important thing I should say is I'm not focusing on the HTML and CSS part in this tutorial because it will take more time to explain all those things. So I would recommend you to download the source file, which I will be posting the link in the description. So once that's done, let me show you the HTML part. First of all, let's see the links which I have included here. So one is my styles.css, another one is script.js. You just take a careful look at the class. Okay, you should look at the class of these three sections. You will see that in login the class is only login, in register it is register and hide, in home it is home and hide. So what happens? And also the result is this. What if I take this hide from register and paste it in login? Okay, now you can see register has only register class and login and home has login hide class. Okay, the two sections has hide class and one section has no hide class. So let's see what happens. See, now the registration part is showing up. So now you have a idea about how you can toggle between different sections, right? Because I have made the styles like that, so when you add a class named hide, it won't be shown up. Okay, so now you can go to the script page. So let's see how the nav change function works. So nav change function gets an ID, which is what we are providing, like login or register, and then it will be pointing itself to I have defined three variables: login, register and home, each one of them pointing to its respective element. Document.query selector will point to the element which has an ID of login, which is this one, and in the register variable it will be document.query selector will be pointing to the element which has ID of register, which is this one. Same with the home also. So now we have three variables: login, register and home, which are pointing to the HTML element having the same ID tag. Okay, now what I do is I will check this ID for login, register and home. So if it is login, I think you can guess it, right? All we have to do is we have to remove the hide class from login and add hide to register and home pages, home sections. Okay, so for that in JavaScript we have these function class list dot remove, class list dot add. When you select an element and then add class list dot remove, what it does is that it will remove the class which we specified inside it, which is here it is hide. So it takes the login and from its class list it will remove hide. Same with the home, and when it takes register and from its class list it will add hide. Okay, so this is how the toggling between the function toggling between the different navigation works. So let's jump into the registration part first, because once we register a user only we can log in. So you can see inside the register you have three inputs: username, email and password, and each one has unique ID. One thing you should always remember is that ID inside a HTML should never be repeated. It means that here you can see in the login also I have the username, also password, but still I used different type of ID for both of them because it shouldn't repeat. Okay, so you can see in the username of login is login user, username of register is reg user. So that's how I differentiate it. Now what I does is when you click the register button, okay, this one, when you click the register button it will call a function named register. Now let's work on the register function. First thing I need is the three inputs value, right? For that I will be selecting each one with their ID, unique IDs, and let me show you document.query selector. What is the ID of username? Reg user, right? Reg user. Same happens with document.query selector only select the element. Now it's an input we know, but how we can get the value inside it? Just type dot value. That will get you the value inside it. Okay. Now we have the value of 3 inputs. Now what we will do? We need to store it inside the local storage, right? Local storage dot set item. Now it will take 2 inputs. First one is a key. What is a key? I'll use users. If you are using VS Code, you can see what are the inputs you need to provide right here when you place your mouse over here. See, we need a key which is a string, and we need a value which is also a string. So I cannot provide ABCD, right? I need to provide these 3 things. How will I do that? For that, I need to create an object. So now I have an object, but there is a problem. You cannot pass an object here, right? See, if I send an object, it will be getting an error for sure, because you cannot pass an object. So now what we will do? Simple. There is a JavaScript function called json.stringify, which will make an object or an whatever you pass it inside. It will make it into what? A string. So now the output of this one will be a string. Let me show you. Log obj. Okay, sorry. My mistake. You don't have to send it as a string. Sorry, it's my mistake. So you can provide an object inside the json.stringify. It will convert it into string. Okay, so let's see what is the output we getting. Okay, register is not a function. Why? Register is not a function. Okay, sorry, I should have refreshed it. Okay, my mistake. You can see it's a string right now. Okay, what if I haven't used this one, like json.stringify? Let's see that too. See, this is the difference. This is an object and this is a string. Okay, so we can store only this one, this string one, not the object one. So for that we have made it into stringify. Used json.stringify to make it into a string. But there is still one more problem. What is it? Okay, first of all, let's do like this only. So now we have an object which is a string. Now inside the users I am storing this object obj. Okay, so I hope now the registration part is over. So what will we do after the registration? We will have to redirect to login page, right? For that it's simple right now, because we only have to call this nav change function and provide which ID? Login ID. I mean, we have to travel to login, right? So we will be providing this one. You can see the here in the application you can see local storage. Here you can see, right, the key is users and the value is, see, an object. Okay, so now it worked. Now let's make a login also. Okay, for that what we will do, we will go to the login section. There is a login function which is so when you click the login button, it will call a login function. So we can create a login. Here we want what are the inputs we want, username and password, right? So we will again copy these three because I am lazy to type all those in. All we have to do is just remove this email and change the ID. So here it's login user and its login password. Now we have the username and password. So what we have to do, tell me. We have to first retrieve the value stored inside the local storage, right? For that what you have to do, all you have to do is local storage dot get item. Now we have to provide a key. Okay, so you can see when you type itself, if you are using VS Code, it will be showing get item of key, which is a string. So we know the key, right? The key is users because we set it. We have set the key as users. So now we got the users and we have to store it inside a variable, right? Let me console it. Console dot log users. Let's focus on one problem at a time. What happens? See, there is one problem because now it's a string. From a string, like if it was not a string, okay, let me show you. If it was not a string, it should be like this. Okay, if it was, and we have stored it inside the variable named user equal to users dot username. See, we can get individual key values. Okay, so we have to convert this string which we get into an object. How will we do that? Again easy, we have a function named json dot parse. Okay, see, now we get a object. Good. So now we can check if the what user enters is correct or not. For that we have an object and we have the values which user entered. All we have to do is compare. So if first of all, there may be cases where there is no users value at all. First what we have done is we created the an user with the register button, right? But what if I am a new user, I haven't came to our site at all, and then we click the login button. It will look for some variable inside, look for some key inside the local storage named users, right? But since we haven't used it before, there won't be a key named users, so there will be an error, or maybe it shows as undefined. So we have to overcome that situation. So it's easy to do that. All we have to do is write this variable and then then users dot username equal to username. Else not if dot wrong. Okay, now what happens? Here you can see only if the users which is retrieved from the local storage, if there is some value inside it, only then you will go to these other checkings. Okay, because there is and right? If any of the value is false, then we won't be going inside the if statement, right? So that's why we are checking first if the users is present. If users is present, then users dot login users dot username equal to the username which our user have entered. Same with the password, and if all these are correct, then we'll make a message called correct, else we will post a message called wrong. So let's check it. Okay, sorry, I should refresh it. See, wrong. Okay, now if I type the correct one, okay, username ABC and password is a. See, correct. So now we have implemented the login and registration. Now what we have to do is, once the login is correct, we should be going to the home page. But there is one problem. There is one more problem, because what if now you can see the local storage of users have this object of abc a whatever. So what if I register a new user named new a at h dot c fff. Okay, now what happens? See, our local storage has new as the user, but this shouldn't be the case, right? If we have to make multiple users, what we will do? So for that we have to make our reconstruct our local storage. Like we don't want an object, we want an array. We want users of users. For example, instead of local storage being this, it should have been like this. It should have been an array, so that see whenever you enters a new user, it will be inside this array, so no user will get deleted. And also you can check with the list of users if the user if the username and password is correct or not, so that it will be more like a database than an object. Okay, so for that we will be making our registration, like we will be making a small change to our registration. All we have to do is, first of all, we have to check if there is already something inside the user's key. For that we will be retrieving the users inside the registration also. So now if there is already users, we will be storing inside the user variable. Okay, then what we will do is, first of all we have to make it an array. Okay, now what I have to do is, there is I don't know if it will be confusing for beginners. There is one operator called destructuring operator. Let's see, you can see x is a array, right? We have just defined it. What if I add another object like this? If I add this, what happens is, now my x is overwritten, right? Now my x has only this last in an empty object, but I don't want that. I want an empty object plus these two already, which is right inside the x. For that what I can do is easy. I can do is x equal to the array brackets open, and then 3 dots, which is destructuring, and then comma, and then I can add my empty bracket. Okay, what happens? Oh sorry, x. Okay, see what happens is, for destructuring I have to add 3 dots plus the variables which I want to destructure. Here I want to destructure x itself. So what happens is that this 3 dots, what it does is, it will go to the x variable and then takes what is inside it and it will paste it right here, and then comma, then what we add after that. See, now we have 3 objects. Similarly, we can if there is already user present inside the local storage, we retrieve it using get items, right? So if users dot length greater than 0, Why? Because you know it's an array. Okay, array means this one is an array. Okay, because array has a lot of numbers. So if we make an array b equal to array, b dot length means number of elements in an array. Okay. So if it is greater than 0, which means there is user present, then dot users comma, see, now I will take all the values inside the users and paste it inside this array, and then I will add the new username and password and email. Okay, if it is there, if it's for the first time the user is registering, that means there is nothing inside local storage. Then it's easy for us, because all we have to do is just one object inside the array. That's it. So now our local storage has changed. Our login will also break, because now we expect an object from the local storage, but we are getting an array. So we have to change our login also. See, it gets wrong because, oh god, something is wrong. First of all, I have to register, right? Sorry, going to register, and I think for those of you who have followed me, just do this local storage will clear. It's nothing, because it's already an object, right? I am expecting a array, so I don't want any errors or something, so I'm just clearing it, and we will be doing once more. So right now, if you click the login, you can see it gives null, because there is nothing inside the login, I mean local storage. So now I'm entering a new user, new at g.c aaa register, cannot read property, length of undefined. Why? Okay, it's because you can see that now we have cleared the local storage, so if it won't be returning anything here. So users is not an array, it's nothing, it's null. So for removing such errors, all we have to do is, in front of it we just add users and what I have already told you, what it does is, like, only if users is present, it's not null or undefined. If there is some value in it, then only it will go to this one. Okay, so now we can remove that error. We can check where is it, application, see, now it's an array. Okay, now if you try to log in, it will give an error because you know our validation is not right. So because you know here, if you console log, I think I have already consoled it. Okay, see, we got an array, see, but we are validating for an object. See, users.username will always be empty, because there is no users.username. It will be like
I cannot get x dot name like that, because x is an array. So what I have to do is x of 0 dot name, because it's the first element. If there is multiple values inside x, like this one, for array traversal, like if we want to traverse an array, what we have to do, there are a lot of functions like for each, like you might have known like this for, right, for x is equal to 0, x less than 2, x plus plus, but in JavaScript we have many easy functions for to traverse array. Like here I can go through all the objects like this for each name. See, it's easy, just one liner and we got the username from each array. So if there is an array, okay, so now there is a function called sum. Okay, these are all array functions. Okay, what sum does is that it checks some value, like if at all we will be providing a condition, and if at least one element inside an array satisfies that condition, then it will return as true. Okay, let me show you x dot sum. Okay, this, like if at all any element inside this array satisfies this condition, which means when you click x dot sum, it will return each element, okay, at a time. So each element I am taking as name a. Okay, so this one is a, this one is a, this one is a. So for each a I am checking if a dot name equal to a, and if at all any of it has this condition true, then we will get a true. That's what sum does. UA, see, now it returns false. See, because there is no element having name as UA. With this we can easily check if from the array stored inside the local storage has the username and password which the user entered. So let me show you. Let me define a variable named user present. Okay, it's equal to users dot sum user. Before this I will use users and because what if there is nothing to retrieve. So users and user dot sum user. Okay, so read it out, it's long to read. Okay, so now if there is a user with the username and password which our user entered, then the user present will be true, else it will be false. So now here all we have to do is remove all this and paste this here. Now only if this user present is true, this if statement is executed, else this one is executed. Okay, login, what is inside? Okay, so our username is new and password is AAA login. Oh god, why it's wrong? User and oh shit, have you seen that? It's because I have used a name here and it's username here. Oh god, why this? See, silly mistakes, but you know, it costs a lot of time for us, so you have to be very careful when you use the user like variable names and all. Now if you check, it will be like successful new AAA login. What? Not again. Oh my god, now what's wrong? Okay, I understood. Oh god, silly mistakes. Okay, now I understood. New AAA. See, it works true. Have you understood what was the mistake I did? It's because, oh god, it's a long thing to tell, you know. It's because here this is a function. Okay, it's a ES6 JavaScript function which is arrow function, which means that how a normal function will be. It will be like function something, right, name. Okay, the same thing I can do it easily like this. The same thing I can do like if I want to return something. Okay, for example, if this is a return statement and only one line is there, I can again shortcut it. Like instead of writing return and all, I can just make it like this. What I did is like I made it one liner, but I added this one. So if you add the curly braces, then you should add a return. It will be expecting a return. That's why my case was always false. Okay, so otherwise it's fine. Users and is also fine. So our login part is working, registration part is working. Now what is left? Okay, first of all, let's if we register, we will be navigated to login page, right? Similarly, if we log in successfully, we have to go to what? Home page, right? Let's do that. Wow, we are into the login page, I mean home page. So now what if I click the logout button, because I haven't wrote any logout function. At this moment, what we are doing is we are checking the list of users and seeing if there is one user present with the same username and password, and if so, we will be redirecting them to the home page. But inside the home page, how we will know which user is logged in? For that, we have to create another local storage session. So I'm going to create local storage dot set item logged user. Okay, now what will be its object? I mean string. I will need its username as well as password, just simply for whatever use case you have. So I'm creating the object again. Let object equal to, here we don't want array because we will be storing only one user at a time, right? We don't want multiple users logging into the same session, right? So yeah, we have made the object, but the problem is that set item will take only string. So what we will do, we will use json.stringify. Now if we log in, let me show you. Let me show the application. Now we have only one key, which is user, but I am going to log in. New AAA. See, logged user, username and password. See, that's it. So far so good. We are now inside the home page, right? In the home page, I have left a section called like an element called message, so we can provide something there. For that, what we will do is, before navigating to home, we will take let message equal to document dot query selector hash msg, which is id of msg. Now msg dot text content, what, hello username welcome to our land. Okay, dot. Let's see how it works now. I'm refreshing. new AAA login. Oh god, now what? Message, oh sorry, sorry, so text content is not a function, you have to put the equal to. Okay, so message dot, not message, document dot query selector of id message msg dot text content equal to this one. Okay, sorry, really sorry. I hope you are understanding something at least. Okay, now you can see hello new, welcome to our land. See how beauty it is. Now all we have left is this logout function. So you can see inside the home we have called the logout function. So we will define the logout here. Okay, sorry, it should be a function. Okay, so inside the logout function, what I have to do is first of all remove this logged in user, right? Because we don't want in user to be logged in, so we will be doing that. Local storage dot remove item. Remove item will take a key name. Okay, if you put the mouse right here, you can see remove item of key. So which key should we remove? It is logged user. And what else we should do? We should navigate, nav change to login. So I'm going to new, let's take the application. Okay, AAA login. See, it is there. I'm clicking logout, it's gone, it's really gone. So so far so good. I think it's almost done now, but you know, I can do few tweaks like some when you log in. Okay, I will give it as an assignment. What you have to do is now when you log in, this login and registration button, this navigation button, it shouldn't be shown. Okay, it should be hidden when it's inside the home page. When you log out, when you click the logout, and when you are out of the home page, it should be again displayed. So try to do it yourself, and let me know if my video should be improved, or what all improvement should I make inside in my video. Your reviews will be like very big thing for me. So till we see the next, like in the next tutorial, bye bye.